I almost want to go guns. No one should have guns because Americans can't handle guns. But in Iceland, they do have guns. They do have very violent guns, rifles and everything else. And yet they have almost 0% murder. From homicide via guns. What? That makes no sense under the American construct until you realize that Americans are batshit fucking crazy. And all of our policies and everything else and our cultures and
no mental health care.
No mental health care. All of the...
No health care.
We got special interest groups fighting for people, everybody to have guns, and they don't give a damn about anything. So when you look at Iceland, what they've done is they've taken the BS of Americans. When an American wants a gun, it's about being an American. I want a gun, give me a gun. I'm a badass American. I'm in the greatest country in the world. I want a gun, give me a gun. Okay, you have a right to a gun.
Better gun.
You have a right to a gun, but I'm mentally ill. Well, you still have a right to a gun. Well, we want to limit any kind of restrictions. We're the greatest country in the world. Here's your gun. Okay, great, thank you. I'm gonna go blow up the city now. In Iceland, they go, why do you want a gun? Well, I want to protect my family. And you know what they say? They say,
from what?
They go, from what? They go, how dare you? And of course I'm paraphrasing, but essentially it says, they go, how dare you come in here and you say you want a gun to protect your family, as if none of us want to protect our family. You don't think any of us want to protect our family? So you want a gun because you're somehow special. Of course, we all want to protect our family. Why do you want a gun? Don't come in here and insult us and say you need a gun to protect your family because we don't give a damn about ours. The reason most Icelandic people get a gun is because of the culture of their history and of being Vikings. And so there's an appreciation and respect for their history, not because they want to be a big badass protector.
And if guns are accessible like that and people are educated, you don't have a sort of underground of people selling illegal guns.
So why do these people who have guns almost universally in Iceland have such a low murder rate? Well, they don't just give them a gun. Again, it's not a right like it is in the United States. It's a privilege. So when you present yourself and say, I want a gun, because of cultural respect, cultural history to display, etc. Not to defend and my family, because everyone wants to defend their family. If we all want to defend our family, the best way would be we get rid of all guns. How about none of us have guns? So it's sort of like a museum of their history that they no longer use.
It's more like we're fighting for the right to be afraid of everyone.
Right.
It's a great thing to fight for.
Once they are convinced that from the privilege of having a gun, they give them a reading and writing test. They give them a reading and writing test. They make sure their guns in the houses are separated from their bullets. They give them a history of using the guns, how to handle the guns, how to own the gun. And blah, 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 blah. So if you can't read and write, they give you a reading and writing test, then you can't get a gun. And that's not to eliminate poor or, socioeconomic communities, because they have free education. So if you can't read and write to get a gun, they send you to college so you can become educated enough to not just shoot people randomly.
You were talking about the right to protect your family, and yet everybody's like, well, I have the right to eat whatever I want, But what about protecting your family from the disease?
All the horrible diseases.
We are way more likely as Americans to die of food-related illness than we are a gun. Even with all the mass shootings and all the horrific violence that we have here, we're way more likely, vastly more likely to die of something we chose to do. We chose to feed our children.
Because I'm an American, big badass American, and I have a right to shoot a gun.
People that do die tend to be women from their domestic partner.
Absolutely. And then you start getting into races and stuff like that. It's who's being killed and for what reasons, and people still don't get this.